Live breaking news from News Channel 3.
They've been destroyed completely. The aluminum shell has been destroyed, and they've been overturned completely.
Philadelphia firefighters describing the devastation there. It is our top story at 5 o'clock. Federal investigators are on scene right now trying to figure out what caused a packed Amtrak train to derail. Good evening, everybody. I'm CJ Ward.
And I'm Beth Farnsworth. We begin tonight with breaking news on that deadly train crash. Investigators say the train was going more than 100 miles an hour when it jumped the tracks, killing 7 people and hurting more than 200. At least 2 people are still missing. Federal authorities are looking at mounds of evidence as they try to pinpoint the cause of last night's derailment of Amtrak train 188.
And they will focus on several things. The train's event data recorder, also known as its black box. It records the train's speed, throttle position, and whether the brakes were applied, and what degree of pressure was used, and whether the horn sounded.
And little by little, we're getting more information about the people who are still missing, the people who were killed, the survivors of this train, looking at all aspects to figure out exactly why that train was going as fast as it was.
And I think one of the main questions here that investigators are going to look at is why was that train going so fast on such a busy corridor between some of the major metropolitan cities on the East Coast?
More than 30 miles over the speed limit, 106 miles an hour. Karen Travers is live near the crash site with the very latest.
Good evening. Speed appears to be a factor in last night's deadly Amtrak accident. Federal investigators say Amtrak train 188 was going 106 miles per hour just before it derailed. That is more than twice the posted speed limit. The engineer tried to apply the emergency brakes, but he was too late. Last night, passengers described a chaotic scene of debris and wreckage. And today, Philadelphia's Mayor Michael Nutter said it is incredible that so many people were able to walk away.
At least 7 dead, dozens injured, and so many questions. Investigators have been at the Amtrak crash scene in Northeast Philadelphia all day, sifting through mangled metal and debris. Officials recovered the train's equivalent of a black box.
Just moments before the derailment, the train was placed into engineer-induced braking, and this means that the engineer applied full emergency brake application.
The NTSB said preliminary data shows the train was traveling faster than 100 miles per hour before it derailed. The tragic accident happened just before 9:30 p.m. last night, minutes after Amtrak train 188 left Philadelphia's 30th Street station. It was en route from Washington, D.C. to New York, traveling on the busiest train line in the country.
I heard it like a big bang.
All 7 cars, plus the engine, broke off the track.
The train tilted over and rolled.
Amtrak says there were 238 passengers and 5 crew members on board. Among the fatalities, 20-year-old Justin Zemser, a midshipman at the U.S. Naval Academy in Annapolis, and 48-year-old Jim Gaines, who worked for the Associated Press. More than 200 passengers were treated at local hospitals.
It is incredible that so many people walked away from that scene last night. And I don't know how that happened, but for the grace of God.
There are still people unaccounted for. Philadelphia's mayor says they haven't been able to completely match the manifest given to them by Amtrak with the information they have from local hospitals. In some cases, they think that maybe passengers didn't get on board the train last night, or maybe passengers haven't reached out to authorities. But at this point, that's unclear. Reporting live from Philadelphia, Karen Travers, ABC News. Back to you.
And we've had our fair share of train accidents here. We checked our archives, and the most recent accident involved a Pacific Surfliner that hit a car stuck on the tracks in Camarillo. 75 people were on that train. Nobody was hurt. Just a few months before that, several people did get hurt on a Metrolink train that plowed into a pickup truck on the tracks in Oxnard. And while most of the recent train accidents we found have happened in Ventura County, there were fatalities on a railroad bridge along the Gaviota coast less than 1 year ago. And one of 2 students hurt in Monday's Isla Vista shooting is out of the hospital tonight. Also, bail is set for the men accused in that shooting. Jose Gutierrez of Goleta is being held on $1.6 million bail, and James Taylor of Lompoc is being held without bail. Both men are charged with attempted murder and other gang-related crimes. The victims have not been identified yet. We do know one is a UCSB grad and the other is a UCSB student. All 4 were hurt in the fight, which involved a gun.